Alright, we're back again. Hey, FedEx finally found my air cleaner. Got it to me, which is nice. 14 days touring around Baton Rouge, according to the tracking, but it finally made it. And actually, the box on this one wasn't crushed. So that was pleasant. But fits good, clears everything. Good room underneath it. And that should breathe about as well as this thing could ever want through a filter. Now, some people don't like K&N. I don't mind them, and I'm not using this thing in the dust so much. Anyway, she's not for off-road, hopefully. But everything's looking good. I did find, and we're going to see if I can make them work, some engine limiters. These were not cheap, and I mean, they look really good. They went together nice. I think they're going to work, but they didn't make one of these reverse threads, so you can't adjust them when they're on the car. You got to actually pull the pin, take it, and turn it in. It's for that price of these things, I think you could have come up with a left-handed thread piece to make it work, but oh well. We're going to see if I can make those work. I think I can pretty easily get one in the front off of the block. I think I can put one at the rear of the block too, but I'm not 100% sure. We're going to find out. We're going to find out. Now the front would go from basically this bolt here over to the frame. And the rear would go somewhere in the back down there. We'll have to see how we could do it, and maybe down to the frame over here. We'll see. Hopefully we can do something. Because I really would like to tighten this thing down so I don't end up having a problem with my exhaust. But I'm going to try playing around a little bit with that. Maybe get my new bump stops in. Small stuff at this point. These little guys, they're only about an inch. Get those mounted right over the axle, just in case. And maybe start insulating the running boards if I really get rambunctious. But we'll see. I'm gonna try to pin one of these in place and see what we end up with. All right, so I think I'm going to be able to make them work. That one's going to have to get drilled and tapped because that's the top of the main frame box, and it's right over the steering. But I think that'll work. And then the back, I had to do a little bit of tweakage to the bracket. She's not quite as straight as she once was, but that allowed me to plant it right down there. And that piece is one of the cross members, which is only 5/8 thick. It's like a 2 by half or something like that box that they use to make the cross braces. So I'll be able to through bolt that one. So I think that's going to work real well. I still wish that they were adjustable, because for the price you paid for them, that's just kind of cheap. But we'll make it work. Easier than designing my own, easier than fabricating my own, I suppose. But I think that's going to work. So I'm going to try to figure out how to mark and drill these holes so I can get them attached. I think I'm going to start with this one back here, because those are just through bolts. I don't have to tap anything. I can do that front one, put the bolt through it, lock it down, and then pull the rod out and do the back one to make sure I get through the hole. So I think that's what we're going to do now. Alright, we got one in. It's pretty snug, although that took some fiddling, because the fact that it's not a turnbuckle, you can't tighten it without taking one end loose. So I wouldn't buy these again. I mean, I guess I would, but man, it'd be so much nicer if it was actually a turnbuckle you could use properly and snug it up. But I think that'll work. I'm going to test it just like that to see what it actually does to the engine, if it restricts its movement enough, because that's kind of right in the middle of the whole drivetrain. I'm not sure if I need this front one. I may put it on anyway just because I can, but that one's pretty good. So we're going to give it a test. But yeah, that works pretty good. So I'm pretty happy with that. It's not bad. Not great. I wish it was a turnbuckle to be easier, but not bad. Alright, so now that one's snugged in. It's not attached as well as the other one because this is kind of a test to see if it matters. But it's attached. It shouldn't go anywhere. Yeah, not too much difference one to the other. But they definitely help, so I'm happy with that. I'm happy with that. Cool. See what we can get into next. Another thing we thought about a little bit is how to kind of plug that hole in the fender. And I think what I'm going to do, still keep the grommet and clean it up, but I'm just going to cut this off where it was sticking through the grommet and stick it down in there. So it'll kind of look like it has a fuel tank, but it doesn't. So I think that's what we're going to do. I'm just going to hacksaw this off. It makes me feel bad because this is real heavy. This is a really nice piece, but I don't need it, and I got to do something to cover that up. So hacksaw, grommet, hole. And that was some heavy stainless, but at least it looks finished again. And it's nowhere near the tire, so that part's done. I don't know what to do quite yet. I'm still procrastinating on that stupid insulation. Oh well. I don't know, we'll see. Maybe I'll take it for another little drive in a few minutes. We'll see what happens. Alright, so I don't feel like taking it for a drive because there's some rain coming in because, of course. So I'm going to do something I haven't done yet. Line lock test. Might need some tweaking, but I think it works. I think I let off on it a little before I wanted to, and that's when it went to the right. So we'll have to play with that as we go. Make sure she stays pretty straight when she's doing the burnouts on the drag strip, because of the fiberglass, that's not really a good idea to do. I swept the driveway before I did that. You don't want any rock stingers coming up through the paint. So, but it works. Anyway, we'll close it off here. Hope you're all having a good day. Take care.